It's turned into a bit of a storage area, but there's an open room you can use. I'll show you the way.
I appreciate your courtesy. Well, this is just lovely.
Looks nicer than my room. I wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. Koku is here, and I am still waiting on Konetsu, but hopefully he'll get back to us in a couple of minutes. Hello, Vap. Last we left off, we had opened the final door, and this is very different and not something I was expecting at all. Most of the other doors, if you have not been with us from the beginning, have always been told from the view of an outsider. Usually it's been the maid. It was the maid for the first 4 doors. Um, the 5th door alternated between Michelle and Giselle, and but the thing that's odd about this one is that it's being told from a present perspective, and we have actually gone back to the time in which Morgana lived. And now I'm thinking that's not in the literal sense because having a time travel story which would undoubtedly create time paradoxes does not seem to really fit into the story that we've been immersed in so far. It really does not seem to fit the theme of this novel, or it would just be so out of place. So that just kind of leaves me very confused as to what exactly is going on and what it's all going to culminate in. Ah, there's Kanetsu. Hello, hello.
I was pressing the wrong button. Oops. Sorry. Steam took forever to update.
That's okay. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I just have a bit of a headache. You know those days where you kind of just don't eat and then you feel like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. I know what you mean. I was just talking with the folks in the chat about how weird the situation we are in, and how I don't know how it's going to fit into the rest of the story, because Michelle and Giselle seem to be thinking that they're going to somehow change what happened, but I really doubt that's going to be the case, since that just seems so out of place.
If they do that, then it kind of like changes everything.
Yeah, and of course you would have all those oh so lovely paradoxes to deal with.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I wouldn't like if they did that.
Same. But yeah, I don't think they're going that way. But then it's like, then what's happening?
Yeah.
All right, you're on dot 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 with Mel?
Yes.
Okay.
I I have to ask, who exactly are you? Why did you say that back there? That Saint's blood is actual blood. In response to his pressing, Oh.
Oh, a
Uh.
choice already?
We should,
Mm,
I don't want to tell him everything. Because that's
yeah.
gonna, like, then he'll be like, I don't know. I don't know.
I think if we tell him everything, then he's gonna tell Yukimasa and Hakopo, and that would be really
Yeah, and that
bad.
would ruin everything.
Yeah, I agree. So tread carefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say choice already. We don't have much time, but it's in our best interest to tread carefully. There's too much we don't know yet. It would not be wise to make a rash decision. With him as tense as suspicious as he is right now, it won't be easy to get his key or persuade him to tell us how he ended up here. Furthermore, my experiences with the three shades tell me that if I'm not careful, I could be putting myself in unimaginable danger. A brief flash of what might have happened had I spoken too soon crosses my mind, sending a chill down my spine.
Well, that's like the most overt. You chose the right option.
If I want to get Mell on my side, I'm going to need something more, something decisive. Something that'll convince him he needs to come clean and set Morgana. Regardless, being cautious isn't going to mean much if I can't get them to let us stay in the mansion. We need to be nearby to keep an eye on things, gather information. How to go about that?
Assuming he's not voluntarily involved. Maybe all we have to do is ask for his help in setting Morgana free, and he'll work with us.
Perhaps. Being so direct will only invite more suspicion, but she's probably on the right track. When I'd met his shadow, it was burdened with great regret. He begged me to help him. My remark about the saint's blood was based on stories I once heard about a person whose blood was said to have healing properties. Stories. Maybe they haven't made it out this far, I don't know. But they tell of a girl born in a distant village, a saint and the daughter of God. I had thought that perhaps the nun might be the saint spoken of in the stories, and I was hoping for the opportunity to see a miracle performed with my own eyes.
That's a smart way to go about it.
Yeah. I have to say, you looked more angry than excited. I didn't hide it very well, I guess. Yeah, Michelle. Maybe it appeared that way to you, but I've never had a very friendly face. If you say so, as long as you're telling the truth. I myself have to wonder, why did my remarks seem to bother you so much? What? Is there something more to the saint's blood than you're telling me? No. Do you want to take Mel?
Alrighty.
So not just like me talking the whole time.
It's the Konetsu show.
Something that would make you want to get me alone and interrogate me.
There's nothing. I just, you know, didn't want to scare anyone with all the talk of blood. Since there's none, no, none actually in it. None at all.
Zero. Zero. Not
Zero.
even a drop.
Even negative, I would say. And I didn't know about the stories, so. It's just medicine, I swear.
As you say.
It's got nothing to do with the saint in your stories.
To change the subject, could I ask you to convince the nun to allow me to stay here?
Huh? Weren't you listening? We can't take anyone in right now.
Which is why I'm asking for your recommendation. You live on the premises, don't you?
I'm more, supervisor of sorts.
Then you should have some say in the matter.
Why?
Until the Harvest Festival is all I'm asking.
Why not get a room at an inn? If you need money, I'll spare you some coin.
I must stay in this mansion.
But why?
Those are my instructions.
What?
You know the stained glass window in the chapel behind the pulpit? I was named after the Archangel Michael. Michael, right?
Yep.
Depicted there. The angel came to me in a vision, instructing me to watch over the festival here.
From where you were standing, you couldn't possibly have seen the window in that much detail. You couldn't. Oh, I get it. You've been to the church before, and you're just acting like you haven't.
There's a metal door off to the side leading to an observation tower.
Yeah, you can see the tower from outside.
Inside is a long spiral staircase, not made of stone but wood. There's a single door at the top of the stairs.
How... What are you really here for? All that vision stuff is a lie.
I am not here to cause you any trouble. In fact, I am on your side.
You show up out of nowhere and expect me to believe your nonsense.
All I ask is for you to allow me to stay until the day of the festival. If you can do that for me, then I'll make you the promise I could not before. I have not forgotten your pleas for salvation. I know you want to be free.
Let me guess. You saw that in a vision, too.
If you want to call it that, then you can.
I've never once asked for you to save me. You're mad. But fine. I've got nothing to hide anyway. If I say you're a friend, the Satans should be willing to accommodate you. Wait, I already told her you were my friend, didn't I? I'll try and persuade her. I don't know what your deal is, but try not to cause any trouble, okay? For your own sake.
I won't.
Only until the festival. You're not getting another day out of me or her. And this isn't your home, so don't act like it is.
Ho 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 ho, Mell, you would be surprised. Of course. Thank you.
You know, I never did get your name.
It's Michelle.
Ah, right, after the Archangel Michael. Just like you said. I've never really cared much for Michael, to be honest. He weighs your soul in one hand on his perfectly balanced scales, then delivers its punishment with the sword in his other. He's not an angel of salvation. Out of curiosity, could you perhaps be... No, never mind. It's turned into a bit of a storage area, but there's an open room you can use. I'll show you the way.
I appreciate your courtesy. Well, this is just lovely.
Looks nicer than my room. I wouldn't complain.
Yeah. There are cracks in the ceiling and the walls peeling off. There is a bed, at least, but it's coated in dust. This was a storeroom when I lived here. As I recall.
Sorry about the condition. I didn't choose a bad room for you on purpose, I promise. If you want to sleep somewhere more comfortable, you're not going to find that here.
Not a problem. I'm grateful to have a room at all.
If you say so. Well, I have work to do, so I should be on my way. I'll talk to the Saintess as promised. I imagine she'll make supper for you at some point. But do keep your crazy talk to yourself around her.
I'll make a note of it, thank you.
See you. We made it work. Somehow.
Somehow.
It's a lot of pressure being put under that much suspicion, huh? My heart was pounding the whole time. And that the Archangel Michael came to visit me in a vision stuff. I never expected you to go there. Oh, why'd you tell him that anyway?
Because I didn't think telling him, I know the future and I need your help to change it, would have gone over very well. Besides, those who yearn for redemption have a tendency to latch on to the spiritual. I thought taking advantage of that would work to our benefit.
You know, I bet you'd make a pretty good con artist, Michelle. I love that expression he made.
What I thought was necessary. He's so done. I did what I thought was necessary.
Hello, Smog. I
Hi.
know. Besides, you have every intention of keeping your promise, don't you?
Whether or not Mell can be saved is up to him. I will lend him my hand.
Oh, you. You say it's all on him, but deep down, you know you're on his side. We're complete strangers to this, Mell. But I can't bring myself to think of him that way. We just met today, but it feels like reuniting with an old friend. He's the same old Mell.
And you are actually there. A part of his life, which I imagine makes the sentiment all the stronger.
You don't feel the same way?
I don't think of him as a total stranger, no. However... Nothing.
Kill Bill sirens go off as he remembers the thorn bush.
Oh no! I was about to say something incredibly cynical, but I caught myself.
What?
I bet he was thinking about that. It's nothing, don't worry about it.
If you say so.
I was always the one with nothing to offer, powerless to be of anyone's help. So if anything's motivating me, it's not concern for the boy, but a desire to prove that someone like me can do something.
It didn't take much arm twisting to get him to give us a room, so who knows? Maybe he'll come over to our side easier than either of us expect.
Him giving us a room was not simply out of kindness. Keeping me nearby allows him to keep an eye on me. He doesn't trust me, but he also doesn't know enough about me to decide what to do yet. He needs time, and doing this gives him that time. If he decides keeping me around is not to his advantage, he will act accordingly.
Do you really think that he'll do anything to hurt you? Mel's a kind boy, and, well, to be frank, I don't think he has the spine for it.
It's hard to say, but even if he doesn't, we still have the other two men to worry about. Nevertheless, his cooperation will undoubtedly be the easiest of the three to gain. We were fortunate to run into him first.
What makes you say that?
Did you ever have a chance to see the shadows trapped in the mansion?
Shadows? I might have. But around the time Hayden Rhodes passed away, I wasn't really there anymore. I stopped thinking, stopped trying to make sense of the things inhabiting the house. I had become merely another part of the cursed mansion.
I was only able to converse with them after I had reclaimed myself. I suppose, much like the rules differ between the realms of the living and the dead, so too do they differ for those who have lost their grip on reality. As I was searching for a way to get you out of the tower, I encountered and spoke with the three men's shadows. Of the three, Mell was the least threatening. He was an asshole, too. He bears a great deal of regret. He yearns for someone to see. I heard him muttering, "This isn't what I wanted." He doesn't want to be involved in this. Someone else is holding the reins. My first guess would be the Lord, but regardless, they are not equals in this endeavor.
If he wants out, then maybe he would have agreed to help if we told him we're here to save Morgana.
Carelessly revealing our hand at this stage did not seem wise. It would have never gotten to this point if it were so easy to stop.
So I guess our first task is to earn Mel's trust.
Morgana's death is in 3 days. Weird how they have Giselle, but they have the sprite from Michelle.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that's an error.
Yeah. We have until then to get all 3 keys.
It won't be easy. I mean, we weren't even present in this world until today. See, even the devs make that mistake.
Exactly. We have no one to vouch for us, no one who even knows who we are. But we have knowledge, quite a bit of it in fact. We not only know what happens in this era, but you showed me their next lives as well. From that, we can deduce how they might behave and to whom they have talked.
You're right, we do. We know things we should have no way of knowing. And we can use that knowledge to our advantage. Their various interpersonal relationships are where we can get our edge, I think. They each have their reasons for locking Morgana up, and if I'm right, they're doing it for other people. I mean, Mell and Yukimasa, yeah, but I don't know about Hakopo.
Yeah.
There's something really weird about Hakopo in this, I think.
Like Hakopo and like Maria and the entire thing.
Yeah.
Just overall, those two feel like the most out of place.
Yeah, especially with Maria, since, I think we mentioned this last stream, but she's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, maybe she is who he's doing this for.
I guess so.
I don't know.
I just
They've
can't
been
remember.
the least relevant of all.
Yeah. Because I just can't remember there being any, like, significant figures in conjunction with the Lord.
Yeah. Maybe his dad, or I don't know.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that is the case. Because, like, in Hakopo's story, a lot of the reason, like, all the stuff happened was because of his dad.
Yeah.
Like, it was his dad who killed Maria's grandfather and father. Huh.
And that started, like, her hate for him.
It's these powerful bonds driving them. Mell's driving force would be for his sister, for instance.
Are they mere bonds, or is it fate that ties them together? You're right. We should find and talk to his sister. Mell is more likely to act if it's coming from her than us.
I agree. If his darling sister tells him to stop, he won't have any reason to continue his involvement.
Knowing how the first tale ended makes me slightly uncertain.
I don't want my hair to be taken from me.
But for now, we can work under the assumption that he does genuinely care for her.
What do you want to bet she's somewhere nearby? I mean...
She will be. It was her death that sparked the chaos on the day of the Harvest Festival.
Right. It was. No, you're exactly right. But what I was going to say is that people tend to keep those they care most about close by.
Uh, it would appear I have a bad tendency to focus too much on the facts. That was entirely unnecessary of me. Giselle did not need to be reminded of. I'm sorry.
Huh? What for?
For being careless with my words, inconsiderate.
No need to apologize for the truth. Besides, you and considerate are like oil and water. Aw.
And today, you're the fire to my oil. I love their banter.
Same. We have 3 days to stop this tragedy. Let's get to work.
We'll probably have more luck asking than just searching for her. If we can't find Mel, then none might know.
Off we go.
God, that music is so pretty.
I know.
Ah. As I step into the chapel, I see an old man waving to the nun as he heads for the door. The man is practically beaming, and judging by the vial in his hand, he's happy about more than simply having the chance to see. Is that saint's blood? According to Morgana's account, a disease began spreading through the city at the Harvest Festival, eventually eradicating the population. In a time like this, where medical knowledge is so limited, a plague would be almost unstoppable. And the sight of so many people dying so quickly could appear to them the work of a demon or a curse.
We come from the future, so we know just how dangerous this is. But they have no idea.
Morgana described it as a tale that could have only taken place in that era of miracles and spirituality. And about that, she couldn't be more right.
Could we maybe warn everyone against taking the medicine? I assume the sickness was caused by them ingesting blood at any rate. It's not medicine they're being given.
But bottled disease, like some sick joke. If we could convince them to stop taking Saint's blood, then maybe that would prevent the city from being destroyed. But the fact that it's being distributed in the house of the Lord, and peddled as a miracle cure, plays right into their deep-rooted spirituality. Would it even be possible to convince them otherwise? And besides, it's not them we came here to save, but... No, that's veering too off our intended path. We need to find the truth and save Morgana's soul. Putting ourselves out like that is only going to get us unwanted attention, make people suspicious, and we don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. It's just knowing what they're doing to themselves. I couldn't help but think that maybe there was something we could do. Especially considering how it all turns out.
I understand the sentiment. Or rather, I understand your reason. But for me, Morgana takes priority over any of them. And you over everything. Releasing Morgana's soul should save yours as well, Giselle. If we can eliminate the mansion's darkness, then you won't have to be trapped as it's made. I have no interest in being the hero of the masses. Let's go ask about Mell's sister, then.
Okay.
I turn my gaze back toward the nun and find her kneeling in one of the pews. She bows her head and begins to whisper a prayer. There's no one else in the chapel. Now's the perfect time to ask. Hearing me approach, she falls silent and turns to face me, wearing her usual disarming. Hello, Michelle. Mel was just here. He told me everything. Can't turn away a friend of Mel's, now can we? Sorry for turning you down earlier. No worries. I did a poor job explaining myself. So, did you need something? Let me guess. Medicine? No, I'm in perfectly good health. I figured you were lying. can ask her about Saint's Blood some other time. And while I have a number of questions about the man she's close with too, right now, Mell's sister is priority. Are you familiar with Mell's younger sister? She has flaxen hair, much like...
Oh, you mean Nellie? Are you her friend too?
I would say we're more...
You're better off just saying you're friends.
friends, yes.
What about her?
I would like to speak with her, and I was wondering if you might know where I could find her.
Nellie should be down at the cottage, I believe.
The cottage?
Yep, that's where I stay too. I don't sleep in the mansion itself.
So you don't live here, but only work here?
Right. For one, there are men who live here. The Lord likes to show up on occasion too, and we can't have a nun wandering around while he's here.
So you and Nellie live together then?
Yep. We have for about 6 months or so, ever since she and Mell showed up. I wanted to let her stay with her brother, but since this is technically church property, we have to keep the boys and girls separate.
I see.
I'm so glad to hear Nellie's got a friend, though.
Mel is gonna be so on alarm if he hears about this exchange.
Oh god, yeah.
She's not from around here, so she doesn't have many acquaintances. And with how sick she can get, she doesn't spend much time outside. Which is a shame, because she's such a sweet little... I am her friend, of course, but I've got responsibilities. I can only be around so often. So I'm sure she'd be delighted to have someone else to talk to.
It would be my pleasure. Could you, tell me the way to the cottage?
Oh, sure, it's not that far from here. You go down...
He's ignoring me.
Pissed.
Hey, Makoto. Does Kyoko seem upset to you? She is, isn't she? She's totally mad.
Why are you happy?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it.
She likes drama in her ODPs.
I bet it's your fault, isn't it? You must have done something to her.
Way too sweet attitude.
Ugh, this is bad.
If only we had the choice to have told her.
Nah, what kind of game would give you that? But you know, at least he didn't give us a fake choice to try and tell her and not actually let us. Oh, wait a minute.
Metal sheets had been attached to all the windows on the fourth floor. None of them budged an inch.